What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is kind of weird because I started this yesterday. However, it's been raining for like hours and all night. We got flood watch in effect, snow's melting, and we just drilled a bunch of holes in our roof. And as you can see, well, most people say if water happens to come through, it'll make its way down here first, which is true. If you have a sunroof and it's leaking, most of the time you'll see the water track down the pillars. It's dry here, dry there, dry here, dry here. That's just an indent from this. I said, I know lots of you were like, oh, they're gonna leak. They're made in a way so that they won't leak. I mean, a lot of people said, well, I had them on my 06, my 04, they leaked. I mean, after about 10 years, yeah, that rubber seal is gonna get a little weak, a little brittle, and it might let water through. However, the fresh rubber seal, I mean, we should be well off for, I mean, 5-6 years maybe before we have to actually replace it or that problem occurs. But they're doing awesome. Because I know a lot of you guys are interested in doing this to your truck. You're all like, well, I wanted to do it, but I never had the balls to like drill into my roof, or I didn't know how, you know, if they would leak or not, and that's everyone's worry. But I just want to keep you guys updated constantly on the fact that, I mean, we're still doing great. It's finally warm here. By 39 is definitely a lot warmer than it's been, but okay, so today is about leveling kits. I get a lot of questions about leveling kits, and like I said, people see the price of full lifts and they're like, ah, and they see the price of leveling kits and they're like, oh yeah. But what then they see the price of the cheap like eBay leveling kits and they're like, oh yeah, let me do that, slap some tires on, and that'll be awesome. I can get it done for like 70 bucks. I do it in my driveway in like an hour. That's great and all, but definitely not good. We're working on a F350 today. I started this yesterday, but it was really late in the day when the truck came in. So I'm gonna cut to that, and then we'll get on the road. We'll show you the truck, all that, and talk more about it, and show you guys why you should invest in good quality leveling kits with complementing components. Ford guys out there. We have a 2019 Ford F350 here, just a gasser, but we are throwing this here leveling kit on the truck. Now, this question comes up a lot, and I get it often, and people bring me leveling kits all the time, or ask me questions on leveling kits. There's a reason why I'm installing this one right here. Most people go on eBay, find the $69.99, $69.95 leveling kit, buy it because it's cheap, bring it back, put it on their trucks, and then down the road they have a lot of problems. As soon as you lift a vehicle, your stock geometry of track bars, drag links, everything, sway bars is all changed, especially when you have a straight axle vehicle. So this ReadyLift 2.5-inch leveling kit here comes with everything you need to correct that geometry, and that's what everybody forgets to do. As you can see, you will fix your track bar geometry, which will keep your axle in line. And these Fords especially, you need this. I mean, I say 2005 and up, but you need this especially. Ford decided it would be a good idea to put a ball joint on the track bar. A ball joint allows movement, and a track bar is supposed to keep the axle still and in place. So incorrect geometry is gonna wreck that ball joint faster than it usually would. So you need to correct your track bar geometry immediately if you're putting a leveling kit on your Super Duty. So this ReadyLift kit, not sponsored by them, I'm just saying, whether it's a ReadyLift or a BDS or whatever, you need a track bar drop or an adjustable track bar if you're putting a leveling kit on your truck. Everyone forgets these parts, forgets these steps, and then down the road wonder why their alignment gets all jacked up, they have death wobble, stuff like that. Adjustable track bar or track bar drop bracket is necessary. Alright guys, so test driving this Ford real quick, making sure there's no noises except this touchscreen has a mind of its own. Nobody's touching that. Keep on going. Yep, that's alignment is definitely right. Now I'm just test driving it. Gotta set it the alignment shop after this. However, here she is. Now, as I said, this truck just got a 2.5 inch leveling kit. 12 wide wheels, making a mess already. Okay, this has to stop. Okay, it won't even let me stop because it's at no. Okay. Whew. And I'm gonna get out here and show you in a second. But like I said, I don't know what I said in the clip prior because I was doing it real quick at the end of the day yesterday. Everyone wants to buy the cheap, you know, $70 leveling kits, whatever. But the problem is, as soon as you lift a straight axle vehicle or even an independent front suspension vehicle, you are changing the factory geometry of everything. You have a independent front suspension, you need to get complementing components, being upper control arms to get proper ball joint angle. On straight axle vehicles like this F350 and the like my Ram, you need to get an adjustable track bar or a kit that comes with a track bar drop bracket like this Ready Lift factory track bar drop bracket and this Ready Lift track bar drop bracket. Just because it's 2.5 inches, it is the slightest drop, but it changes everything. It looks sharp. It's a sharp looking truck. Like I said, 20 by 12 fuel cranks with a 35 1250 R20 Toyota Open Country MT. Awesome setup here. This was one of the wheels I was going to put on my truck before I went with the sodas. As you can see in here, it comes with adequate brake line drops and a new track bar drop bracket along with sway bar drops. And this corrects all factory angles, which is key, especially on straight axle and independent front vehicles, which means pretty much every pickup truck on the market. This right here is the ball joint I was talking about yesterday. I have no idea why Ford puts a ball joint on a track bar that is supposed to keep the axle still, straight, and like in line. Give you one more shot from the side here to show you how she sits. 2.5 inches up front and nothing in the rear. Obviously, that's how she looks on 35s, 12 wides. No rubbing up front. So like I said, I don't know why Ford puts a ball joint on the track bar. You know, something that's supposed to keep everything sturdy and rigid. They put a movable part on there, and like all these companies come out with fixes for that because those are known to fail. So putting a leveling kit on there and stressing out especially the track bar ball joint, you don't want to do that. You need to keep all factory components in line with the factory geometry. That's why lift kits come with proper drop brackets. They keep everything as close to factory spec as possible. If you're leveling your truck and you stress that track bar out, not only will your axle be a little bit off center, but just as you're stressing everything out, and it just causes stuff to wear faster. So with an adjustable track bar or a track bar drop bracket like that, your front end will thank you. Now I want to show you guys something cool here. So in a Ford, do not do this unless you have the proper TPMS tool. Key in the ignition, foot, brake, release. 1, 2, 3, foot on the brake, release. 1, 2, 3. Horn honks. And you're gonna come in here, scan your TPMS. Scan your TPMS. Come in here, scan your TPMS, and the final tire back here, and you look on this dash here. Training complete. Another thing I forgot to mention, this kit comes with shock extensions, so do all the new Jeep lift kits pretty much, but most of these companies have factory rides that are sufficient, so they provide shock extensions. You either need those with a leveling kit or longer shocks. You don't want to stress those out either. One thing that is awesome is the 360 camera on these trucks. I do find it quite awesome. And for those interested, just to show you, there is the shock extension down there. It's just a bracket that allows you to mount it higher, so you don't bottom out your shock. One more shot of this rig for you. Alright guys, here's a perfect example. This is a F-150. I just put a leveling kit on, but at full droop, look at these control arms. First of all, they run into the spring, and this ball joint is at an awful angle. That's why on independent front suspensions, you want to run new upper control arms to accommodate this extra 2 inches up here. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with stuff like this at full droop. That is not good. Okay, and I assume some of you wanted to see the finished product of the truck. Once again, it usually sits normal, but there's tires in the bed, so that's why it looks a little squatted in the rear, or sits level. But there she is. Ditto Ridge Grapplers 33-1250 R20s on some 20x9 fuel matte black assaults. So this guy, he obviously did not opt for upper control arms, just a leveling kit. However, we put a camber kit on here, which allows to get proper alignment of the front end, especially on Fords. If you're not getting the upper control arms, you really want a camber kit so your front end gets aligned properly, and it prevents tire cupping. You do not want that. So if you're not getting upper control arms, you definitely need a camber kit on Fords. Rams and Chevys already have adjustments in the lower control arm slots, so you don't need a camber kit on those. However, I do recommend upper control arms on both Chevy and Ram, and for Ford, I do recommend both. But if you don't do the upper control arms, you at least, it's mandatory to get a camber kit on these. They don't tell you, but your alignment will be off. Back in the Comer, we're about to head home. Whether I'm modding my truck, working on my truck, or doing things to other trucks, my goal is just to help you guys out, because I know that coming from firsthand, you know, what I see all the time is people, like I said, people buy these cheap leveling kits, and then, you know, down the road they got alignment problems, they got death wobble, they got cupping tires, and I just want to help you out prior, and, you know, just let you know that doing it the cheap way all the time is not always the best way. This weather is miserable, guys. I'm honestly counting down the days for nice weather, car meets, truck meets. Summertime, you know. Yes, lights out, 4-way stop. No, that does not mean you go, Hyundai. It means 4-way stop. Like, sometimes it blows my mind. I'm like, how did you pass your driver's test? If you don't know the simple things, like when the lights are out, it's a 4-way stop. I absolutely love the 6-speed manual in this Cummins. I wish they didn't get rid of it. This is awesome truck to drive. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I see a lot of people do and take shortcuts, and you don't want to do that, especially when down the road it's just going to cause more problems. So I just want to help anybody and everybody out that I can, because I know a lot of people ask me a lot of questions all the time prior. Is this lift kit good? Should I do this? Should I do these wheels, this tires? I just want to help people out prior to them doing this, and then even if they've already done it, they can at least know how to upgrade it and get their suspension, you know, tuned right, just the way it needs to be. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. Take care. If you haven't been here before, please get down there, click subscribe. If you learned something in this video, shoot it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time.